Alright, YouTube, it is Mr. Mean coming at you this fine Monday morning. I have the day off. I am relaxing. There's some cool things coming down the pipeline. I do apologize. I have a little bit of a sinus infection, so I may cough. I can't pause the recording or whatever. I probably could on the road. I'm using the road microphones. They sound amazing. Let me know how the audio quality sounds. I've been trying to tweak it in over the last couple of videos. Some people have said that I'm a little low. Pardon me, that was my phone ringing. Some people said I'm coming in a little low. So hopefully I've tweaked the audio settings. Every test I've done on my side seems fine. So today's video du jour is a while in the making. I got the PDF. I enjoyed it. Never got a chance to play it, so I have not played this game. But I did go down to the cities this weekend, Minneapolis, and I went to the Source Comics and Games, which is my game store of choice here in Duluth. Well, over in Superior, the next town over. It's a 10-minute bridge ride. I have Level Up in Superior Games, and it's a good game store, but they don't carry a whole lot of tabletop role-playing. Their big forte is Magic and Warhammer, various Warhammer products, which I am not a Warhammer guy, and I don't play Magic, so don't get to the store a lot. I will say the owner is very gracious enough to give me a nice 10 to 20% discount, as I do mention the store. So if you're in Superior, Wisconsin on vacation or whatever, pop in and say hi. It's a great group of people. If you play Warhammer, if you're looking for the Army Painter range of paints or Citadel range of paints, you can pick them up there. They have most of all the 40K stuff that's hip and cool that all you kids like, the plastic crack. Talking of plastic crack, before we get to the look at the RPG, I did pick up, where did I do it? You would think doing this channel for over 4 years, almost 5 years now, that I would be better prepared, but come on. I picked up Army Painter Speed Paints. I've heard good things about them. I am not a huge fan of Games Workshop. I just don't like their practices. I don't like their price points. And I just feel that it's not a good company. That's my opinion. If you're a Warhammer fan, that's fine. That to be said, that I do buy miniatures on the secondary market, secondhand. I just don't want to support Games Workshop. That's my personal opinion. Yours may vary. If you want to support them, that's great. You do you. You spend your hobby dollars how you choose. But I read good things and bad things about the Citadel contrast colors, and I'm not gonna lie, I was intrigued. I like to paint miniatures. I enjoy painting. It's very therapeutic, very relaxing for me. I'm not a huge fan of Army Painter. I have a number of their paints, which I don't think you can see. Maybe if I lower this, yeah, you can see that is almost all Army paints. There's a couple Master Series paints in there from not Warlords? Yeah, Warlords. What is the name of it? Master Series. Made in Texas, by the way. It's the Master Series paints. These are older than my oldest boy. These are actually probably 23 years old. Can't think of the name of the miniature company. They make Bones. They make all that stuff. Anyway, if anybody remembers the name, put it down in doobly-doo. It'll probably come back to me in the middle of the review for the RPG, and I'll blurt it out because I'm a dork. But anyway, I wasn't real happy with the Army Painter paints. You can see I've got, like, this is greenskin, and it's solid. There's a mixing ball in here, and I can hear some liquid moving around, but they all congealed. Now, granted, these are a couple years old. They've moved from Louisiana to Texas. I think I bought these in Texas. So they went from Texas to here. So I've been in Minnesota now for 4 years, and I lived in Texas for 2, and I bought these when I first moved to Texas. So yeah, they're about 6 years old, and they just have not held up well. Now, I don't know what the lifespan of acrylic water-based paints is supposed to be, but I'm assuming that it's more than 6 years. If these guys, I mean, here this is What color is this? This is Viper Green. I put a mixing ball in there. There's mixing balls on all my Army Painter paints. It's a little, like 10 millimeter, I think 5 or 10 millimeter little ball bearing. Bought it off of Amazon for a couple bucks. I got 100 of them for like $5 or something. It's dirt cheap. But you can hear there's movement in there. There's liquid, and the pigment is solid. And I haven't used this color in I don't know how long. So it just tells you, I don't know, the quality. I don't know. Anyway, long story short, I did the Kickstarter for Duncan Road's Too Thin Coats. So I've got all those paints coming. Now, I'm not going to throw my Army Painters out. I'm going to keep them. Like I said, they've got ball bearings in them, and I'm going to just get a bigger paint rack. This paint rack I got for under $12 on Amazon, and it clips together. And now it's the MDF, board. It's super cheap, but it fits the dropper bottles. The Duncan Road paints come in dropper bottles. I'm just going to get 2 more of these, maybe 3. And I'm gonna, make a bigger display of my paints, and I'm gonna keep these paints because I like having them. And like I said, I think they're really good. I did get some of the Vallejo model color. I bought 2 infinity paint sets and I don't have shaker balls in these. I should get some in there because this one's looking pretty thick too. And I don't know how well these hold up. I just bought these within the last year. I bought these with, they had some Infinity paint kits for Infinity the game, which is a very cool miniatures game that if you haven't tried it out, you should check it out. I should do a video on Infinity one day because I do enjoy the game. Anyway, so I have those. Like I said, I'll buy some more of those $12 racks off of Amazon. I bookmarked the page and everything so that I can buy more in the future. But getting back to Army Painter, like I said, I paid like $120 for that big set of, came with like 60 something paints. I will say their shades, which is equal to the camo shades and stuff from Games Workshop. I forgot what they're called. They're technical paints, I think. Yeah. I will admit the Games Workshop technical paints, the Athonian Camo Shade and the Agrax Earth Shade and all those stuff, those are phenomenal. Now, I know they just changed the Agrax Earth Shade formula, and I've heard bad things. I don't know. I bought 2 of them, so it should last me quite a while. From what I'm understanding, people are very, very fond of them, of the old formula and not the new formula. Again, bought them off the secondhand market, didn't pay full price for them. But the shades for Army Painter are bar none are some of the best on the market there. They work really well. They work phenomenal, and I think they look great on miniatures, especially if you're using a lot of Reaper. That's the name of the company, Reaper Bones. I got a lot of Reaper paints too, and like I said, they've held up really well. But anyway, back to I'm babbling. I've watched a lot of videos on this, and I've heard a lot of really good things about it, and how I'm a slow painter. I don't get a lot of time to paint. I bruised my tailbone back in February, and it's still sore, believe it or not. I still can't sit more than 10, 20 minutes without it hurting, and I have to, and you're fidgeting. And when you paint, you're in one area. Now, I do have a sit-to-stand desk. I could maybe set up my painting rack, but this is a really nice desk, and I don't want to get, muddled with paint or anything like that, because accidents happen, we all know it. And I have a 5-year-old, so little hurricane right there. But anyway, heard really good things about this, very ecstatic. So it was a decent price. It was, I think, $34 I picked it up for, 34 or 43, I don't know, whatever, one or the other is ringing a bell. I think it was 43, and it comes with 10 paints, and it came with a free paintbrush, which is a little bit larger paintbrush, which they recommend for laying on this speed paint. And I've watched a couple videos, Goobertown Hobbies, which I'm not a big fan of his. It's just his voice annoys me, and I know I annoy some people, so I get it. But I've watched several other guys, and there's this, and I want to say it's new, but there's a style of painting called slap chop. And I think it's a method of speed painting, or getting your miniatures to the table faster at a tabletop quality, which is all I'm looking for. I'm not going to go to any Golden Demon Award or anything like that. So this is the style of painting for me. And so I've been looking into it. I'm hopefully going to get to it today. I did buy in one of the game stores down in down in the cities. They had, so there's a game store, I forgot the name of it, but they have used minis, and they had a bag of 5 of these. I don't even know what these are. I don't know if these are goblin wolves or they're undead wolves. I don't know what they are. So if you guys know, put down in the notes. But anyway, it was $5, so $5.36 after tax. So I got 5 of those, and I'm going to test with those hopefully today. I have some errands to run for the wife. I got to go hang out with a buddy, get some coffee with him because he's my best friend, Darren, and I want to hang out with him and you know, enjoy my day off a little bit. But I do want to get some painting done. So that's my big plan. I have to pick up my kid at 3:30, so I got a lot to do in a little bit of time. But anyway, I just wanted to say that I'm gonna try to do a video. My buddy Mike Wilster, I love you, brother. Thanks for all the cool stuff you sent me. He sent me an extra camera, and I bought a mounting arm. I'm going to try to set it up on my paint table, and I think I can run a cord long enough to record, and I'm going to try to record me painting miniatures. I'm going to see how it works. I'm going to try to set it up. I can't guarantee it, but I'm going to try. I have very limited workspace. We are trying to buy a house, so that's a little bit of going on with Mr. Mean. So that brings me to the Patreon. Please, if you can afford $5 a month and you want to support the channel, you like the content that I provide, that $5 goes a long way. It helps offset the cost of my hobbies. I buy a lot of hobby shit. Obviously, I'm toning down. I went to the cities and I pretty much only bought 3 things. Yeah, I'm doing better. I'm curbing my habit. It is an addiction. But I love it. It's my hobby. But we're trying to look at a house for next summer, to be out of here by early next summer, the end of winter. There are a number of nice houses on the market in and around this area, and so we want to stay in the Duluth, Minnesota area. I have a good job. My wife has a phenomenal job, so we want to do better for ourselves. Who doesn't? And you can help by becoming a Patreon. $5 a month, get you access to Discord channel, get you access to games that I run. Right now I am running Frontier Space on Monday nights, and I am also running on Foundry using a module that 42 Squirrels has created for Castles and Crusades, which I am really enjoying. We're running the Umbridge Saga, which is the box set. So anyway, whole lot of babbling to get to the review, but thank you for sticking with me. Like I said, gonna give these speed paints a try and see how they work. I'm excited to see. Got some test miniatures. I've got a whole bunch of other miniatures I'm going to play with, and if this slap chop method works for me, which I really have a good feeling about, I think it is. It's going to do exactly what I want to do. I'm pretty excited. So it'll allow me to. I've got a Nurgle roster I need to get painted. I've only got about 1/3 of it painted, so I need to really get them to the table. Grebo is releasing their new Grebenite stuff, so they're redoing a lot of their cast in Grebenite, which is basically they bought a CO cast machine and they're printing miniatures, and the quality is amazing. And so I want to, when the Chaos Nurgle team for Grebenite comes out from Grebo Games, I want to get that, and that will replace my Nurgle roster from Games Workshop, because while I do like it, there are certain things I don't like about it. But the Grebenite Grebo Games roster looks amazing for the Nurgle. They call it the Contagion unit, but it's basically Nurgle. So anyway, today's, man, I'm sorry guys, that's what, I don't even know how long I've been recording for. They've redone, there's a new update for OBS, and it took away my ability to see how long I'm recording for. I don't know where they've put it. So I have no idea. It doesn't show me. So I do apologize. That was a whole lot of stuff, a lot of information coming at you. I'll try to maybe put a timestamp in here for when the actual review starts. But today's video du jour is The Witcher. I picked this up Saturday. Today is Monday. I picked it up Saturday at the Source Comics and Games down in the city. My go-to game shop. Every time I go down to the cities, I love to go to the Source. I usually drop, at least $100 on stuff that I can't get up here, and I don't want to order. Amazon always dings up my books, so I'm tired of ordering from Amazon. So if I know I don't have a trip planned soon to the cities, I'll order it off of Amazon, but I prefer not to. Miniature Market does a really good job of packaging up their stuff So a lot of times if I can find it on Miniature Market, I'll get it from them. Obviously, Amazon has somewhat of a better discount most of the time, but not always. Sometimes Miniature Market does beat them. So, yeah. So anyway, The Witcher. What do we got here? So this is a coordinated project between CD Projekt Red and R. Talsorian Games. And you know R. Talsorian Games from Cyberpunk 2077 and Cyberpunk 2020. Now, Cody and his mom, Lisa Pondsmith, worked on this. Cody is the son of Mike Pondsmith, who Mike is the founder of R. Talsorian, and he did such great games as Mechton Warrior and Cyber Generation and Cyberpunk and Castle Falkenstein and all that stuff. And Mike is an old friend of mine. We used to live in California in roughly the same area, the Bay Area, and Mike he's my mirror universe, because at the time he had a goatee and I did not. And he had a white wife, I had a black wife, and we both had mixed kids. So he used to call me his mirror universe version. So Mike is a super cool guy. If you ever get a chance to say hi to him, please do. He's very engaging, very intelligent, and wonderful to talk to. Who knows if he remembers me? That's over 30 years ago. That's almost 30 years ago. So who knows? But hopefully he does. But anyway, I picked this up. Let's go with the basic stats. It is hardback. It is full color with some black and white illustrations. It appears that some of the art was taken from the video game, or at least the project art that was commissioned for the video game. I'm not quite for sure, but there's a list of artists in here as long as my arm. And if any of you have met me in person, you know I've got monkey arms. I am 5'11". I have a 6'1" wingspan. So yeah, I got monkey arms. It is 333 pages. It is the third printing, as this edition is the third printing. So it's hopefully they've caught any grammatical and or typos or rules errors, and they've completed them and fixed them. I can't tell you because I don't have I have access to the PDF, but I don't like reading PDFs. It's got a full index and table of contents, so it's easy to look stuff up. It also has the pages are kind of color coded. I don't know if you can see that very well. Pages are kind of color coded, so you kind of get an idea once you learn. Oh, combat's in the red section. You just flip to the red section and boom, you get to the rules. Oh, skills are in the blue section. So let's see what else. Yeah, that's about it. There's a nice little blurb from Lisa and Cody in here talking about their career. Lisa's been involved with R. Talsorian since the very beginning. Cody is obviously their child, and this is Cody's first foray into gaming. He's been a gamer since he was 6 years old. I remember him at conventions. He's a little tiny guy. He's roughly the same age as my son. I think he might be a year older or a year younger. I'm not quite sure, but he's roughly the same age as my son. My son is 22 now. My oldest son is 22, going on 23 in January. God, I'm getting old. So that's enough of the card there and the notes. It's The Witcher. If you've read the books, if you've watched the TV series, it's awesome. You get to play in that world. This basically uses the same, very similar system to Cyberpunk 2020, a stat, a skill, and a 1d10. The numbers go a little bit higher because The Witcher is basically superhuman. I'm not going to go into the full mechanics and stuff. The game's been out for a while. There's plenty of other videos that do that. What I am going to go into is what I like. I like games that bring party cohesiveness. And this game does it and doesn't do it. And by that I mean one player is supposed to play the Witcher, and then the rest of the players are his supporting cast. So a witch or a sorceress or a mage, a thief, a bard. You can have all those. A warrior. There are dwarves and elves in here, so you can play them. Nilfgaardians are not necessarily the bad guys, but they kind of are the bad guys, depending on when you base your story. And they give a full world breakdown in here of all the races and the nations and everything. It's really well done. Cody did a great job of explaining everything. But of course, the Witcher novels are very in-depth, and he had a lot of great source material. And I can tell that he pretty much read the novels, because there's information in here that you would only glean from reading the novels. what I struggle with this is one player plays the Witcher, and whenever you have games like that where one player is Superman and everybody else is the varying members of the Justice League, Superman can do everything. So that makes the rest of the players obsolete. They're useless. Now, granted, he can't be in two places at once. He can't do everything at once, but he can do everything. And The Witcher is kind of in that category. He can do magic. He can fight. He's smart. He's tough. You know, he can do a little bit of every. Well, he can do a lot of everything because he's a Witcher. You play a Witcher. Now, you don't play Geralt, although you could if you wanted to. They do give stats for all the main characters that are in the series and the TV series. But this has extensive rules on how to make all the supporting cast. In fact, they come first in the book, which I think is a clever to try and show you how cool everything is. You know, hey, look, you can play a sorcerer or a mage. Oh, you can play a dwarf, a warrior. You know, and they're really tough, and they, you know, da 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 da. So they kind of build you up to think, wow, these supporting cast members are cool. And then you go look at The Witcher, which is in the back half of the book, and you realize that those guys all suck. And The Witcher is way better than all of them. You know, the Witcher is hitting target numbers of like, you know, 15 to 20 or better, whereas you're struggling to make a 10 when you do a stat and a skill and a 1d10. So it's very similar to the R. Talsorian 2020 mechanics. There are some minor differences, but for the most part, it's very similar. So if you know how to play Cyberpunk 2020, you've pretty much got this down. It's not going to be hard to move on. The magic system seems pretty good from what I read. The Witcher, of course, gets some formulas and some decantations that he can do, which is basically he drinks a potion, he gets him a power for a short amount of time, and then they learn how to make it. They go in depth talking about the different Witcher schools and their castles. So you got the cat, the bear, the wolf, which is what Geralt is, and then I think the raven or the there's one that's like an assassin school. I can't remember which one. I think it's either the raven or the fox or something. But anyway, they give a bunch of different schools. The world setting is phenomenal. I mean, 3/4 of this book is derived to magic and the world setting. They talk about Nilfgaardians and across the ocean and all the different areas and the age of magic and how everything came to be, how monsters and magic coincide. They are the same thing when the gate was open. When the convergence happened, monsters and magic came through the gate, and so that's why we have them. And so it's really well done. That's what I like. I like I'm hopefully going to get to play a game. One of the Mini Army, David Winmark, on the Discord, super awesome guy. Awesome GM as well. I like gaming with him. He's in many of my games, so I appreciate him for that. He also is volunteered to run a session of The Witcher, or a two-part series, like a little mini adventure. So hopefully I'll get to play it. I'm really leaning towards a dwarf. I was reading the dwarfs, and I was really like them. They're tough and they're strong and they're pretty good in combat. And so yeah, the problem with this game is everybody's going to want to play a Witcher because the Witcher is badass. And I didn't see in here where they addressed that. They really kind of was like, they really want you to play, one person plays a Witcher and everybody else plays the supporting cast, which is fine if you have a group like that. But if you go to a convention and you sit down with 5 strangers, right, and they're excited to play the Witcher, they're most likely not excited to play Yennefer. They're not excited to play any of the other supporting character. They want to play The Witcher. So what do? You roll a d20. That's the only way to do it. Or is one of them your friend and you give them The Witcher? That seems in poor taste to me. So, you know, what do? Do you make a whole bunch of Witchers and now you have to scale the game? Which brings me to another point, that they do a great job of talking about scaling. So like there's 3 levels of monsters. And they recommend, you know, like 2 low-level monsters for every player. If you put a medium monster in there, then take 2 away. So if you've got 5 players, you're going to be going up again, and one of them is a Witcher. You know, the Witcher gets 3 because he's obviously tougher, badder, and stronger. And then all the other supporting cast members get 2 monsters each, so everybody has something to do. Now, of course, the moment combat hits, that goes right out the window, and the monsters attack whoever the monsters attack. And granted, you as the storyteller can point the monsters in the right way, but some players may dive in to help, like the sorcerer or the mage, because they're not physically strong, or whatever. So I think there's a balancing issue. I'm not saying there is. If you've played the game or you've GM'd the game, put down in the notes and let me know if you feel that there's a balancing issue or not. Or if you think, wow, the game, going by Cody's rules, the game goes just fine. I don't know. But, I think it's pretty well done. The art in the book is really, let's get that glare off. If I can get it over here. There we go. I'm sorry, I got a light behind or in front of me, so there you go. So it's color art. There's some black and white art. It's really well done. I just struggle with the balance issue of it, and I don't know. So like I said, post down in the notes and let me know how you feel. I think the layout of the book is, well, let me say what I like first. I like the game. I like the mechanics. I've always been a fan of Cyberpunk 2020. I'm not a huge fan of 2077, although I haven't really given it a fair read through because they dumbed down the weapons and put them in weapons groups, and that wasn't my cup of tea. That's what I played Cyberpunk for. Is I wanted the cool weapons, and gear, the cyber tech and everything. So they do a great job in here in the equipment section. They do a great job of talking about magical items and spells and magic and potions. That is all really well represented in here. I feel that you can, if you wanted to have a group of sorcerers and maybe they're going up against a witcher, you could do that. I think that would be a lot of fun. That way you turn the witcher into, not the focal point of the campaign. It's all these, sorcerers or mages and maybe some fighters and stuff going to take down a witcher who's gone rogue or gone bad, and they even talk about that in here as a possible scenario. So I like that. And the art is fantastic. I mean, it's standard CD Projekt Red fair art. If you like all the art that's in like the sleeves and everything from the video games and the website and stuff, you're gonna like this. I would say go watch I believe it was Netflix that did the animated Witcher series. Go watch that because it is phenomenal, and you will be pumped to run The Witcher after watching that, because they do show you other Witcher type characters. What I don't like the layout. I think it's very poor. It is just basically basic typeset with some Excel boxes put and then all the information thrown in. I even think the character sheet is a little lacking in my opinion. Now, I will cut some slack in saying that this is Cody's first game. And I think his dad just stepped back and said, do what you do, son. And it's not a horrible character sheet. It's just not... I'm going to hold it up here, and again, I'm going to have a glare, but this is the main character sheet. So it's a kind of a standard character sheet. It's a little boring. And then, of course, that other page is the back side of it. But it's nice. I mean, it's nice in the aspect that all your data is there. You're going to have all the information you need to play a character. And I'm sure some creative person has endeavored to make a better sheet, and if you have a link for that, put it down in the doobly-doo. I'd love to see it. But the layout is just horrible. And I'm not talking art. I'm talking just the layout of the book and how they do everything. It's just like, here's a siren. This is one of the monsters, and there's her stat block, and it's just, I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me. I don't like it. It looks very archaic. It looks like someone did an Excel spreadsheet, laid this out with Excel spreadsheet. And I know layout and design is, I mean, there's companies that do that professionally. Our Talsorian has always been a small company with low overhead. It's basically just the family, and Mike farms out a lot of work or does it in-house himself. So while not a big fan of the layout, I do like the art. I think the art is very representative of the theme and the genre. I just don't like the layout of the book. I don't like the gray background or the off-white, with the light blue. You can see it here. It looks gaudy to me. And I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up very well or not, but it just doesn't look. I don't know if there was a better color choice. I'm not a graphic designer. I'm not a layout specialist. So again, for Cody's first foray into the gaming world, I think it's phenomenal. I like it. I'm excited to play. I really want to play. I want to see how the game master would handle one Witcher and a party of not so cool players. Now, that being said, I did read character creation. I like it. It uses the life path like Cyberpunk 2020 did. And that really gives you a lot of background and depth to your character. So if you're a role player, if you like getting into theme and getting into character, this is one of those games that I think highly supports it, because you're going to know your character's background. You're going to know where you came. You're going to know why you are doing what you're doing. You're going to know how many siblings you have. Do you have a wife? Do you have kids? Do you have any living family? Are you on the run? Is there somebody after you? Are you rich? Are you poor? Are you mediocre? Medium income? You're going to know all these things that are really going to help you flesh out your character and tell a good story. And let's face it, it's not just the GM's job to tell a good story. It's the player's job to tell a good story as well. So if you're into that and you're into The Witcher, I think this is a phenomenal buy. I know they've got 1 or 2 books out and a GM screen. I did not pick those up because I wanted to see if I like this and if I wanted to play it more, because my only concern is, as a GM, I'm not going to want to let anybody play a Witcher, or everybody's playing a Witcher. But then if everybody plays a Witcher, your escalation goes through the roof, as far as you're going to have to put so many monsters in, and then it just becomes a slugfest. And I don't think that would necessarily be good. And because of the way you make a Witcher, you're going to have if you have 2 or 3 Witchers in a party, you're going to cover every skill. You're going to cover every, magic formula. You're going to cover, there's going to be very few loopholes for the GM to task the players. Now, granted, you can throw, you don't want to go into every session and fight a dragon. That's not going to be fun. In fact, I don't even think they give a dragon in here. I don't think there's dragons in the world of Witcher. I can't remember. There are wyverns and there's griffins, they're pretty tough in and of themselves. But as a Witcher, one Witcher can beat a griffin. So, I mean, you got to use some smarts and, make it work, but you can do it as a single player, at least in the video game and, of course, in the novels. But in the novels, the Witcher is the hero, so of course he's gonna win every time. It wouldn't be much of a novel if the Witcher dies from fighting a griffin, or a swamp hag, or a grave hag, or whatever. I like it. Like I said, I have some reservations on how the GM handles one Witcher and party members, because whoever plays that Witcher is definitely going to have a sense of superiority and I'm better than you. And I don't think this will work good for convention games. I think it would work good if the GM had a player they trusted to play the Witcher, or made the Witcher an NPC, and then the players do their thing, and kind of help the Witcher out for whatever the Witcher's got to do. Like, say the Witcher gets captured. It's hard for them to get drunk, but he gets drunk. He drinks enough booze, or maybe someone spikes his booze with some sleeping agent or something like that, and he gets captured, and the players have to go rescue him. Now once he gets free, he's going to be hell bent and kicking ass and taking names, but he's got to get free. So interesting to see that. If you have any experience with it, put notes down on doobly-doo. I try to read all the notes. And I'd like to know. So yeah, that's my thoughts on The Witcher. I'm excited. I'm eager to play a game. Like I said, I think I'm going to play a Dwarf Warrior. I'm pretty excited. So, and I'll let you know. I'll do an after action report if we get to play it. Right now, we're trying to figure out times and people and everything. So that's always the problem. So expect to follow up to this relatively soon, I hope. Now, I want to talk about something a little more serious. And it's not a bad thing. One of the Meanie Army is in need. Miguel Warlock Patreon is in Puerto Rico, and he's got some medical issues that came up unexpectedly, and he is selling off a bunch of his RPG stuff to cover the medical bills. And and they are getting substantial, is my understanding. So Miguel is a longtime follower of the channel. He has supported Mr. Mean well on 4 years now, I believe. He sent me a Zenhauer microphone, which I still use when I do around the table and I'm recording a game. I use that microphone because it works so well. And I thank him. It was like $140, $150 microphone that he sent me. It's Zenhauser. They make quality stuff, and it was very, very kind of him to send that to me. And he's been, like I said, a staunch follower of the channel. And he has on my Discord. If you're not a member of my Discord, there's a permalink down in the doobly-doo. Go click on it and reach out and say hi, and at least give some prayers and some best wishes, whatever your form of thank yous are to Miguel, because he's a super awesome guy. He's always positive. He's always looking up. He's just a great guy. He's, like I said, strong support of the channel. He has created a eBay channel, and I will include that link in the show notes when I post this, so you'll be able to see it down below to give Miguel a hand. He's selling a number of items from his Kickstarters and stuff like that to offset these medical costs. But he's one of our own. He's a gamer. He's a game master. He's a fellow meanie, so if you can reach out and you can help him, if you have donations, maybe you have some unwanted games, he's in Puerto Rico, so it's U.S. Postal Service will get it to him. Maybe you can mail him some stuff and he can put it up on eBay and sell it if it's things you're not using. I'm going to try to get a care package out to him so he can sell some things. He's a great guy. Go hit his eBay store, buy some stuff. I believe he's going to start a GoFundMe to help offset his costs. So if you can donate, or just reach out to him. He's on the channel, the Discord channel, a lot. Hopefully he'll see this. I told him I was going to do it. He gave me his blessing. So hopefully he'll put some contact information in here for you, and you can reach out to him that way. So again, he's one of our own. He's a gamer. He's going through some hard times. So let's rally together and try to help him as best we can. And for that, you will have Mr. Mean's, thanks and gratitude. And you know what? If you did something for him, shoot me a message. MrMeanspeaks@gmail.com. And the next video I do, I'll give you a shout out. Who doesn't like to hear their name on the interwebs? So yeah, support the channel via Discord, PayPal. It's $5 a month. Better yet, take that money and go give it to Miguel and help him out. That's an even better thought. Because if you support me for a year, that's $60. Take that $60 and give it to Miguel. That would mean a lot. And I'm sure it would help Miguel. Every penny counts, as the old saying goes. And I hate to see him selling off his game collection, but he's doing that instead of asking people for money. So that's just commendable of him. It's a great thing, and I wish him nothing but well, and he has nothing but my heartfelt thanks for being such a great supporter of the channel over the years, and this is my little way of trying to help him. So Miguel, I'll get with you, I'll get your address, and I'll send you a care package of a couple of things that I don't need, and maybe someone else can buy them, and it'll help support you in that little way that I can. So I'll make sure to include that link down in the doobly-doo. So all our thoughts and well wishes and everything to Miguel for speedy recovery, and hope everything goes well. If you have any questions or comments, as always, put them down in the doobly-doo. And peace, love, and happiness, guys. I love you all. You're all special. You're all wonderful. And remember, as always, be nice.